Hey guys, welcome back. Bodie 101 here, and we're here for another vlog, and you'll see that I am centered on the screen, which means we don't need any little graphics for what we're going to cover today. So, today what I decided to talk about, well, first off, a little bit of clarification from the last vlog. I've had a couple people ask me that. They asked me what I use to render, and I talked about that I use Sony Vegas to edit. I also render with Sony Vegas, so once I'm done editing, then the program renders the edited video out. So when I record, it's just a raw video. It's huge, doesn't have my intro, my outro, nothing. I put it in Sony Vegas. That's where I put my intro, my outro, the video, adjust anything, and that's where I render it out. So hope that clears up. So what I want to talk about today, this is kind of a dual thing here, or multi-level thing here. A lot of people have asked me about how I met the people in the squad, all the current people in the squad, and people might have used to be in the squad or friends in the squad and stuff like that. And then also I've had a lot of people ask me just over the years of doing this, they want to start doing YouTube and how did I get started? So we'll kind of go there. I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible. I know a lot of people when they do vlogs, they only do like 3-4 minutes. That's not me. I can't tell a story in 3 or 4 minutes. So I hope this is something you guys keep enjoying because I am digging it. So, all right. So, a handful of years ago, I didn't really play PC games much. Maybe a little bit of like SimCity or The Sims or just some random games like that. I wasn't much of a PC gamer. I was a console gamer. 360 and a little bit of PlayStation 3, the Wii, that kind of stuff and everything before that. Been that my whole life. To the point where I actually sold video games for a long time. I was a manager of GameStop's, Game Crazy, which is a smaller company that I don't know if a lot of you guys know about. I did that for probably about 10 years. Anyway, so one night I was at work and kind of closing up shop, had a couple employees that were helping me out, and they were talking about this game that they had just gotten on their 360 called Minecraft. It had just come out on the 360. And I'll be honest with you, I'd kind of heard of it, but I knew nothing about it because we didn't sell it in my store. And that's really the only thing that I kind of knew of video games. We sold the little cards, and that was it. And at the time, you couldn't even buy Minecraft on disc. You had to buy it through DLC. So I really didn't know much about it, but they kept going on and on about it, and they said it would be pretty cool. And I had a bunch of Microsoft points, so I bought it and played it. And I loved it. I grew up playing with Legos. I loved the fact that it was kind of do whatever you want and everything you could do with it. So I was like, oh, this is cool. So I played it on the 360. And to be honest with you, I wanted to learn redstone. Redstone doors, real basic redstone stuff. It didn't register to me. So like a lot of you, if I had a question, I jumped on YouTube and looked for a video. I happened upon, now the plot of this whole story real quick, by the way, guys, is if any one of these few things had changed, you wouldn't be watching this vlog because I wouldn't have made it. That's how specific these things are. So, watching videos, I came across a guy named Meatwagon. A lot of you guys might know. He's part of You Always Win. And he really isn't much of a tutorial guy, but I watched one of his videos to learn about making redstone doors, and I found him amusing. I found it funny, so I started watching more of his videos, and then I watched You Always Win stuff. I thought him and Guns was really funny. That's how I found out about Bentley, the only Bentley who's, probably the one YouTuber I watched the most above anybody else. I watch him and the squad, and that's really all I have time for. Anyways, and then I realized by watching all this stuff that the PC version was way cooler. It had so much more stuff. So, $30, not a big deal. I bought the PC version, started playing it. And played it for a while, learned about mod packs, learned about servers, played the game solo, stuff like that. And You Always Win, it actually started their own server. It was only up for like 3 months, but it was the YA server. And I popped on there, and they had a factions game mode, which, you can find a million of them on servers out there. So I started playing that, ended up meeting some people. For any of you guys who've been watching this for a long time, I met NJ, a guy named NJ, and a couple other handful of people. And we played around, and we decided for fun that we would start a YouTube channel. And it was actually called Tulo Gaming. I'm not going to get into where the name came from, but it was a long time ago. And that is actually where I started with them. The problem was, they wanted to be in videos, They wanted to record videos, but they didn't want to learn to edit. They didn't want to upload. They didn't want to do any work. So after doing that for a while, it got a little frustrating, and I started putting out solo series on that channel. And then I realized that's all that was being put on that channel was solo stuff. NJ was doing some solo stuff. We were the only two that were really putting anything out. So I decided, well, hell, if I'm going to do this by myself, I might as well start my own channel, hence the channel that you guys are on right now. Meanwhile, playing on that server, I ended up meeting a guy named Blood Fox, who, if you're familiar with Yoloswin, probably know who that is. And he introduced me to a guy named Soul of Wolf. There's going to be a lot of names coming at you guys, so... and me and my group got to know Soul and talked to him for a while, and he was starting his own server called Bacon MC and asked if we wanted to come along. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Be builders, be staff, whatever else. And I was like, yeah, why not? I'm playing the game anyway, so... And YouTube really wasn't doing that much. I was just getting started. I had like 30 subscribers, and I knew all of them personally, so... And nobody watched any of my videos. Anyways, but Soul, and I really don't know how this is, but he knew Husky and Sky, and it actually brought Husky and Sky into Bacon MC as part owners, kind of the people to let you guys know that it's out there. And they had started another server and whatnot. And Husky was in a call, like in a Skype call, but was never talking in the call, like he never joined the call. He was just there because it was like all of the staff people. And through Soul, I met Fitz. Fitz and Soul knew each other. So Fitz was really the first YouTuber I truly met. At the time, he was at about 1,000 subscribers, and that blew my mind. I was like, wow, how do you get that many people? It really blew my mind. And Fitz was really cool, really helped me out, showed me a lot of things. We recorded some stuff together, and we became good friends. And anyways, so yeah, then later, Sky had a friend who ran her own server, and they had been friends because they played RuneScape back in the day. And he had basically talked to her and said, hey, this guy Soul Wolf is making a server. We're kind of updating the whole thing. What if we merge your server with his server, made one big server, and it'd be kind of cool. That server was RSMV, and that person was Patty, that you guys all know, Irish Rain. So she got brought in, and that's how I met her, because she became part of the staff that I was in. She actually introduced us to Dartron, because she's known him for years, along with Sky and Gizzy and all these other people from before they were even YouTubers, just playing RuneScape, just friends that she met online. So, God, I hope this story isn't too boring. Anyways, so that's how I met Patty. That's how I met Dartron. I knew Fitz. And then one night, me and Fitz and another guy named Snaz, who was a builder on the server, were hanging out in a call, just chilling out. It was this group call that everybody who worked on the server was in. And Husky popped in. I guess he had nothing better to do that night. He just popped in, and we started talking. And it was, to be dead honest with you, before I really got in this, I didn't know who anybody was. I didn't know who Husky was. I didn't know who Sky was. I didn't watch YouTube videos that much. I didn't watch Minecraft YouTube videos because I didn't know anything about the game. I didn't know who any of these people were. They were already super famous stars. I had no clue. I was a guy who worked in a video game store and came home and watched TV. So I didn't know who any of these guys were. But I had learned, obviously, as I was doing this, who a lot of these people were, all the Team Crafted guys, and a lot of other people. And so Husky popped into a call, and we just kind of talked. I mean, we didn't really fangirl much. Me and Fitz did ask him a few YouTube questions, like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Just bouncing ideas. But mostly we just kind of joked around and BS'd and whatnot. And a couple days later, Husky I was in that call again, because we were in that call constantly. Husky jumped into that call and says, hey, Modi, do you think that you would want to record a faction series with me on a server that I'm working out a deal with? It wasn't even Galaxies that we were a part of. And I was like, yeah, of course. I was at 132 subscribers. Fitz was at about 1,000, a little over 1,000. And Husky was at 1.8 million. So, hell yeah. So, And he said, Fitz want to be in it too. We're like, cool. So we did the faction series, and we recorded a couple episodes, and then the deal between Husky and this guy and this other server kind of fell through. It just didn't work out. And basically, Husky said, hey, we got to dump those episodes because we can't air them because the deal didn't work out. And me and Fitz were like, oh, that sucks. Like, we had this one great opportunity, and it fell through. And at the time, Galaxies didn't have a factions game, so there was nothing for us to put it into. So I had to delete those videos. That was really hard. Well, because of that, Husky and Soul got together and decided to make a Prisons Factions server, other than Galaxies. And they wanted to make it overpowered. That was the big thing. Overpowered prisons, overpowered factions. So it was Overpowered MC, which a lot of you guys were probably very familiar with. That's how that server came about, was because Husky wanted to do a faction series, and it didn't work out in the server he did, so he just made his own. So we re-recorded, we started over, we recorded that stuff, and that's probably where a lot of you guys probably might have first gotten your views of me and Fitz, was through that faction series. So we did that. We worked on OPMC, we worked on Galaxies, became friends, like I said, better friends with Patty and Dartron, and me and Fitz were really good. A lot of other people were involved. And I'm hoping I don't forget how I met some people, so. Anyways, and then I was in charge of staffing on OPMC, so I did like all the orientation and, kind of brought up when somebody needed promoted and stuff like that. And there was a couple of players on there. There was a lot of players that I kind of did orientation with and got them going and whatnot. And a couple of those people were RSD Angel on Fire. She was just a player. She found the server because at this point, Husky and I were doing the first season of the Prison series. So she came on because of that, and she was really good with people. She was, mature, which is weird for me to say about any of us, but compared to the 6-year-olds that were just on there to cuss. And also Snoop. And we basically had a long story at that point. Convinced them to, come on as mods, and they became admins. Eventually got moved up to head admins, which was that call that me and Patty and Fitz and Husky and everybody was in. So that's how we met Snoop and Krista. Then at the time, I was starting out streaming. I was streaming a lot of stuff on that server. I was obviously recording with Husky. We were doing a lot of projects. Me and Fitz were doing Utopia at the time. At this point, I was probably 2,000-3,000 subscribers ballpark, and which was blowing my mind. It was unfathomable. And, just trying to get better at making videos and not be so nervous and whatnot. So, and then there was this girl that would comment on my YouTube videos, right? And then there was this other girl who would comment on Twitter. And then there was this other girl that would hang out in the server. And after a while, because all their names were different, after a while, I realized that it was all the same person. Her YouTube channel name used to be very different. It was more her real name type stuff. And then on Twitter, she was at Redhead's Life. And Twitch, when she would watch, she was Princess HRB. And then finally in Minecraft, she was Heather Renee B. So I got to talking with her. I would message back and stuff, and I kind of dug her. I'll admit, stalked her on, social media a little bit, but whatnot. I mean, she'd seen me, so I figured why not. And, but I was kind of nervous, which is weird because I'm old. I've been married. I was married for 10 years. I was in a different 7-year relationship, but so I, decided that I would convince her to work on OPMC, and I was the one who hired her. She would have to get into a call with me then. But I was kind of nervous, so I brought Fitz along as my wingman, which it worked out well, but in hindsight, just saying. So So yeah, so anyways, that's how I met Heather. Bullied her into being my girlfriend. Yes, bullied her into being my girlfriend, but it worked out. We've been together for a year and a half. So that's how I met Heather. And then another person in the squad that we met through that was one of the builders for Galaxies and OPMC was Lynn. And that's how we got to know Lynn. And then a bunch of us decided to leave OPMC. We wanted to go start our own server, which was The Zone, which another big chunk of you guys probably were familiar with us from there. It was kind of, this was right when the squad started happening. Which, by the way, if anybody asks how do we get the name The Squad, this is how it happened. I was in a call with Fitz and Husky and a few other people, and Fitz had to go. He was like going to bed or going out or whatever. And he was like, all right, I'll see you later, squad. Instead of saying, all right, I'll see you later, guys, or I'll see you guys later, or whatever else, he just happened to say the word squad. And Husky thought that was hilarious, that Fitz used the word squad in that way, to be like, all right, see you later, squad, just referring to a group of people. And we all thought it was funny. So then it became kind of an inside joke that we started referring to ourselves as the squad, and here we are. Anyway, so back to what I was saying, we started The Zone, and we had a bunch of games, stuff that we had made up, and one of the players that was on there constantly was this little annoying little rainbow kid that Krista became really good friends with. And his name was James. He did not have his moniker yet. We actually gave that to him. And he seemed like a solid kid, so I brought him into the call, brought him to the squad call, and introduced him and stuff like that. And he was very much the youngest. Before him, it was Fitz, who Fitz is, I think, 21 right now. He's probably 20, maybe 19 at the time when we started this whole thing. And so, you know, he was a lot younger than the rest of us, but he, you know, seemed to kind of click in really well. So we brought him on, and yeah, he recorded with Krista, then he started doing stuff with me and a couple other people, and that's how Skittles came along into the group. Ego, I know because Fitz knew the guys who was doing the Utopia mod pack and the Utopia YouTuber server, and got us in on that. So if any of you guys watch our old Utopia series, it was by a guy named Nemson, who's really awesome. He's got his own channel. I think he just hit or about to hit 10K. He's a good guy. Go check him out. But him and a couple other guys, one of them being Ego, are the ones who did that. And so I met him quite a while ago, and then about a year later, I was talking to Ego on Twitter, got into a call with him, just talking about some recording tech, you know, make videos look better kind of stuff, and offered him if he wanted to come in. So we had The Zone, we were going, the squad was alive. That's where a lot of you guys probably met the squad with the streaming. You know, Heather started doing YouTube videos, Snoop, Krista, Lynn, Patty got back into it, she did other stuff, Skittles started doing this, and the squad was basically coming alive. And then The Zone really didn't work. We had a lot of problems finding devs, and it became more expensive to run than we had anticipated. So, well, we actually closed down The Zone, which was a problem because all of the squad's multiplayer packs were on The Zone server. So when you guys were on The Zone running around, the stuff you guys saw on YouTube was also on those servers. It was just hidden away. You couldn't get to them. Well, when The Zone closed, we had to close the servers. So I had reached out because of UO was Win and Bentley. I was familiar with Aim to Game servers. So I just basically sent them an email and said, hey, my name's Modi101. At this point, I was, in the 30,000 range of subscribers, and said, want to make a deal. And the guy who ran it messaged me back. We got into a Skype call and we talked, and I was real excited, and he was real excited, and it was really cool. And he offered to sponsor us. Basically just means that he gives us a server to be able to put our stuff on. We talk about Aim to Game. It's basic business. Even if we weren't sponsored by him, Aim to Game honestly is the most solid server company I've seen. This has nothing to do with the deal. I've dealt with a couple of other ones, and either they're too corporate and you can't get a hold of anybody, or it's some kid in his room just basically reselling servers that he rented somewhere else, and then you're dealing with too many companies. But Aim to Game, they're good. They're good. Well, that guy I was talking to was Doggeth. And Doggeth had done YouTube for quite a while, and then kind of got burned out, I guess, or stopped doing it, deleted his channel. He hit about 2,000 subscribers too, and deleted his channel, This was a while back, and just being in it, he got excited. He wanted to start streaming again. He wanted to start doing YouTube. Just all the talk we were having about, doing YouTube and all this stuff. He really dug it, and that's when he had come into the squad. And then later on, he had formed his own group called the Bromigos, which is great. That's kind of like more his motion. We're a little too, I think, bounce off the walls. He's a little bit more subdued, so he works out really well with those guys. Go check out the Bromigos if you hadn't. All those guys are super awesome. So, but anyways, that's how we met Doggett. That's how we got with Aim to Game. And then the last kind of few people in the group, as long as I'm not forgetting anybody, Raji and Zanny just came to these streams and they seemed really cool. We ended up talking to them. They were kind of on the same level. Zanny had been recording for probably, I think, about a year, maybe a little more, but just, hit or miss. Raji hadn't recorded, but wanted to get into it. So we brought him in and kind of showed him what we knew. Not necessarily saying it's right, it's just the way we did it. And they got super into it and become, two great members of the squad. And then, as long as I'm not forgetting anybody, which I don't think I am, I think the last person, for a lot of you guys that might not have seen it yet, the newest member is a gentleman called the Beard Whisperer. Funny guy, makes this beard look like I'm shaving. He looks like he's like in the middle of eating a lion. That's what his beard and hair looks like. Like, he's like, oh, hi, and he's like got a lion's head in his mouth. So it's the only way I can describe it. Anyways, him, funnily enough, after streams, we would raid people, and I came across the stream one day, and we raided him. I thought he was funny. I thought he was kind of cool. I kept watching his streams, was interacting with him in chat, and, ended up talking to him about a couple things on Skype, and at one point just asked, I happened to be talking to him one day, and he said that he was thinking about starting a YouTube channel, because he'd been streaming for well over a year, and that was going really well, and I was like, well, hey, if you want any tips, let us know. And we brought him in. So that's basically what gets us to today. I mean, that's the squad as it is. Now, things change. Like I said, Doggett has really focused on the Bromigos. Plus, he's got like 15 jobs and 37 kids. And the guy, I think he slept 4 minutes in like 1984. And that kind of covered him. So, 2024, we're hoping for another 4 minutes, buddy. Take a nap, please. Please take a nap. Anyways. But then we, had other people leave. Fitz got really serious with school and kind of stopped doing YouTube. He streams every once in a while, but he does Smash Brothers and stuff like that mostly. Patty and Jenna. Now, I didn't mention Jenna or Xanary. We met her because we met Patty, and that's Patty's daughter, so that's how we met her. And she was in the squad. But they're really focused on rsmv.net. I mean, it is a full-time job. Patty's from awake to sleep and whatnot is doing nothing but doing that. So that's really where her focus is. So she really didn't have time to do YouTube, and you guys probably know that. They are still very close friends. We're still in a call with all those guys. None of that has changed. We still talk to those guys on a regular basis. It's just the squad that we present, like on the website, which, by the way, it's thesquad.tv. Go check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. You can see everybody on there. But, the squad, the core squad is about the people who do YouTube and stream together and record and play Minecraft and maybe other games and stuff. And they're really not playing that stuff anymore. So it wasn't a case of anybody was kicked out. It was literally just a case of, Fitz wasn't doing YouTube. Why are we going to send you to his YouTube channel? So, but yeah, I mean, they're honestly, so the point of my whole story is that if any one of those things would have changed, if my employees weren't talking about Minecraft that night, if Blood Fox would not introduce me to Soul, if Husky wouldn't have jumped into the call that night, literally anything, any of this stuff would have even slightly changed, this video would not exist. And the other 2,000 I have on my channel probably would not either. I would probably be just working a job and coming home and watch TV. The funny part is, any one of those things would have changed. I would not know Snoop, who's one of my best friends now, and all the other people in the squad. I would not be with Heather. I mean, that's the crazy part. So when a lot of you guys are like, hey, I want to start a channel, but I don't know anybody, just go out, go play in a server. The funny thing is, you play in a server for a while, you get to know people, and you make really good friends. And if those people kind of want to do the same thing, that's all I did. I did not go on that server to find friends, to start a YouTube channel so I could do all this stuff. I just went on to play a game, and I had fun, and I met people, and they were kind of like-minded on it. So, you know, for all of you aspiring YouTubers out there, the people that are starting out, and you're really trying to figure out how to get away, you know, your foot in there. You know, I already kind of covered this. Be consistent, have fun, and go make friends. Don't go hunt for friends. Don't be like, I'm going to go on this server and I'm going to meet 3 people and they're going to help me become a YouTube sensation. It's not going to work because you're going to come off like a douche and they're not going to hang out with you. Just go have fun. Have fun, play the game. If, go play on servers. Go check out rsmb.net. Go check out streammc.com. Go check out play.pocketpixels.net, I believe. Those are all servers that we've had connections to. Go to Mindplex, go to Hypixel, go to all these places and just meet people and have fun. You never know. You might find a best friend, you might find a girlfriend or boyfriend, you might find people to record with, or you might just have fun. That's all that matters. So this video is way longer than I planned it to be, but there you go. I gave you an intricate thing of how I went from just working at a video game store to where I'm at now, how I met everybody that you guys have come to know and love in the squad, or maybe loathe, I don't know. And yeah, so there you go, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. If these vlogs are something you like, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Any questions, comments, concerns, put it down in the comment section. Any other ideas of stuff that you guys would like me to talk about or go over. I would like to kind of get off the YouTube thing here or there, but on the other hand, I don't want to like turn this into like political or religious. I want to stay away from that stuff. So, but let me know down in the comments if there's things that you guys would like to talk about. And we'll go from there. So, all right, guys. Well, until the next vlog, once again, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. I always have to look down. Bye.